Chairman, I move to renew the following common victuals license
We might put you on the cultural count.
to expire December 31. You want me off, huh? December
No, no.
31, 2012, subject to all regulatory departments' requirements.
You gotta read
And,
them.
yeah, Andrea's House of Pizza, Bazrang Inc., DBA Subway, Beyond Bagels, Captain Pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, North Reading, Maine, Inc., Dunkin' Donuts, Holly Donut, okay, Dunkin' Donuts, Shauna Donuts, Inc., Gio's Pizza and Roast Beef, Mario's Pizza and Subs, McDonald's Restaurant, Ryer's Store, Sunrise Bagel, The Hornet's Nest, and the Lobster Claw, and Wendy's.
Second that.
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion?
I've eaten at them all.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
As the gentleman who used to sit in the seat I'm sitting in would ask, are all taxes, license fees, and any other associated fees paid in full by all these establishments?
That's correct. They're all paid.
Thank you.
That's true
I
for all
want-
of them, so we don't have to.
Correct. They will not come to you unless they are paid.
You know, all of these establishments are fine restaurants and stores that we have in town, but I want to welcome Gio's Pizza. I've been there. I don't know if anyone's tried it yet, but they've been pulling the people in quite a bit. It's been very busy over there. So,
On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. This
I'll
package
sign these
store,
as I go along, you know.
all
if the-
alcohol.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
We can sign them afterwards.
Right. Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the following Class 1 licenses to expire December 31, 2012, subject to all regulatory departments' requirements. Dyer Sales and Machinery Company, Marconi and Subaru, North Reading Motorsports, Premium Power Corp.
Mr. Delaney, if you'll second it.
I'll second, yes, Mr. O'Leary.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
there is one establishment here, which is an automobile dealership, which currently holds and is seeking a Class 1 license. A Class 1 license holder also automatically is eligible as a Class 2 license holder. I have a family member who has a Class 2 license holder, or is a Class 2 license holder currently, and will be seeking to have that reestablished this evening. Therefore, I will not be, I'll be abstaining on this particular vote. If it were separated, I'd vote on three, but it's fine, I'll abstain to avoid any conflict.
Okay.
Duly noted.
Further discussion? Hearing none. On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Aye.
That's in the Class 1 license.
That's
Did
a-
we skip the package store?
Yeah,
Right,
it's just
there's-
whatever,
There's two we
Coming up.
actually skipped.
they'll be coming up, it's just
Okay,
the way
they
it's in the
just-
order.
they're coming
it
up.
is.
Okay, fine. I thought that might be the case. Next,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the following Class 2 license to expire December 31, 2012, subject to all regulatory departments' requirements. Greenbrier Classic Motors, P&T Auto Sales, Route 28 Motors Exchange, Inc.
a motion by
Second.
Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. Delaney.
Mr. Chairman, I have a family member who holds a Class 2 license and is seeking to have it renewed this evening. Therefore, I will not be participating in the discussion, and I'll be abstaining from the vote.
Thank you, Mr. O'Leary. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
Aye.
3 in favor, 1 absent. Next.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the following package store wine and malt beverage license to expire December 31, 2012, subject to all regulatory departments' requirements. Ryer's Store.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Unanimous?
Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the following common victualers wine and malt beverage license to expire December 31, 2012, subject to all regulatory department requirements. Mario's Pizza and Subs.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the following package store all alcohol license to expire December 31, 2012, subject to all regulatory department requirements. One Stop Liquors.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the following livery license to expire December 31, 2012, subject to all regulatory department requirements. Boston North Limo, Metro Town Car, North Reading Transportation.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Two of these new, Greg?
I think North Reading.
No, they've been before the board before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And maybe,
North Reading Transportation's been forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
The North Limo, isn't that the one that we had to?
Washington Street?
On Washington Street, we wanted them to, we wanted them to make sure they registered their cars.
Right.
You're right. And where's Metro out of? Carl?
Metro, I don't recognize.
Which license are you referring to?
Livery?
Livery Metro
okay.
Town Car.
Name is familiar.
Is that Mr. Buchanan?
Metro. '23 Chestnut Street.
Yep.
Who's the applicant?
Applicant's name is Nathan Shaparian.
Where's 23 Chestnut? Which?
Linfield.
Linfield?
It's Seraphian.
That's a renewal?
Yes, it's a renewal.
Any further discussion?
We're confident that these three companies have their vehicles registered out of North Reading?
We are. Matter of fact, in the past, when the board has raised issues, we've indicated that the license will be withheld pending authentication that, in fact, they are registered in North Reading, and they've provided that to us.
Thank you.
On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I move to renew the following automatic amusement device license to expire December 31, 2012, subject to all regulatory department requirements. Candlewood Lanes.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. I guess if they didn't have automatic pin setters, is that what this is about?
No, it's
Or
for
got to do
games.
with
No,
games?
these are video
Games.
games.
Video
The-
games.
The claw, so you can get that stuffed animal with
Games.
that claw.
Yeah.
The video games.
Okay.
Lost a lot of money in that machine. So I'm not gonna vote in favor.
Your kids
Kidding.
lost it for you.
Right.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's it. I don't have any more here.
Oh, nice job. Now we just
Very
need to
good,
sign.
Jim.
Wasn't bad.
I'll just put them in and you can,
Okay, number 10, report on the Chestnut Street traffic study.
Is that on the supplement?
I believe so.
No, it's purple number 10 that was in your meeting packet.
I see it now.
It was.
There you go. Thank you. What's that? I missed it.
No, it was in the regular agenda packet. Numbered 10, purple color. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, yeah. It was at the very end of the packet.
Oh,
Page 110.
That's good.
That's very helpful when you get that page number. Makes it a little bit easier.
You know, it's way back.
didn't quite look purple on the bottom of the thing.
Not quite.
You wanna go through this for us, or?
Sure. You have a report from the Public Works Director. The board had asked about the status of the Chestnut Street truck exclusion. Task A has been completed, which was to go out and determine whether the truck traffic on the street had met the threshold. And you'll note that in Mr. Carnavale's memo that, in fact, the volume did exceed the Mass Department of Transportation standards, which allows them to proceed to Step B. Step B is the identification of alternate routes. They're in the process of putting that work together, and anticipate that that will be presented to the board sometime in the mid to late January timeframe. They need to map out the alternate routes. Assuming that the board then does proceed that, then there'll be additional work that will be required, and the final approval of the truck exclusion rests with the Mass Department of Transportation.
So basically, it's in the town's hands to come up with alternate routes
Correct,
for approval by then the state,
correct.
and at that point, then that street can be marked for truck exclusion.
The final approval rests with the Mass Department of Transportation. So the board may approve it, however, it needs to be approved by the Mass DOT.
But we still have a few steps a few hoops to go through here, even before it comes before us for
Do
consideration.
we have a list of the names of the neighbors that initially filed a complaint?
Sure.
Could we provide them with some kind of quick summary update?
We can get in touch with Mr. Foss, who in the past has been the gentleman who has really shown an interest on behalf of the neighborhood, and anyone else that we have their names of, we'd be happy to give it. But again, we anticipate that the work will be presented to the board sometime in the time from mid to late January.
And, I can just add that, in speaking with Michael, he had spoken to Mr. Foss at the end of last week, made him aware of, this was an agenda item for this week. Mr. Foss expressed his inability to be here this evening, but did want everyone to know that Sergeant Romeo apparently had sent letters out to the trucking companies. I'm unclear as to whether it was just the 62, the Concord Street trucking companies, or also the ones on Concord Street. But as a result, Mr. Foss wanted to thank Sergeant Romeo, as he indicated that, at least as to the companies on Concord Street, the outbound traffic has nearly stopped for those particular trucks going from Concord Street out Chestnut Street. However, what he has seen is the companies that are out on Route 62, he has seen an increase in the early morning traffic of the vehicles traveling from 62 out across the Chestnut Street area. So, but he did want the board to be aware and the public to be aware that Sergeant Romeo's efforts have actually have benefited that neighborhood, but there's still an issue out in that particular section of town.
I got a call from a woman a while ago who chewed my ear out for a good hour. And it was on the other end of Chestnut
It's
Street.
across the intersection.
Across Chestnut Street. Which I
She's on
didn't think
Chestnut
was
Street.
an issue at the time.
She's 3 doors up from the intersection of Haverhill and Chestnut on the right-hand side, on the eastbound side.
Because I was under the impression most of the traffic was